Look at stuff in my teeth.
Well, we'll see on the air.
Check. Checking
Check
on the mic.
the mic.
It's June, what is it, 15th?
14th. Flag
June
Day.
14th. Oh my God, we have to
Check
talk
Flag
about
Day.
that.
Jerry, are you there?
I should probably take the afternoon off to celebrate.
Yeah, my kids are doing the Boy Scouts have a Flag Day.
Aww.
Guesses on mic 3.
This is a mess.
Okay. It's different to see the the delay over here. That's a little odd.
Yeah, I can turn it if it.
No. It's okay.
Like,
I'll look at the two of you rather than look at that.
Every once in a while, people will have a comment or questions.
Yeah.
This is a type A person's worst nightmare right here.
Oh my God.
There we go. Okay.
Well, no, but it's still.
Oh, it's a mess. I'm just getting it so that I don't strangle myself with it.
What do you want to do? You said you want to do other stuff, right? Like, what do you want to do?
I don't know. I haven't
Like,
figured it out yet. What that looks like.
Well, let's.
You know, one thing we can do is we can do a remote broadcast. We have to set up with them and probably pay like some money to have someone show up, but you can do a remote broadcast. So we could broadcast from I don't know what. But anyway, that's one thing to keep in mind is that one day we could do the show not live, or we could do it live but not from here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to ask Blood Source if they'll come on, but then the rest of July got booked up already for nonprofits.
Do we have someone on July 5th?
Oh, maybe not.
I think that one's still open.
Because I thought it would be fun to have him hook up Mark and he would give blood live on the radio.
Oh God.
Totally. I'm supposed to get blood next Friday, so we're going to switch it up to July 5th. Then let me know. 'Cause I think that date's still open.
Okay, I'll call them.
I couldn't do that.
You can't get blood? Or?
No, I can't. No.
But things like
the
that
needles
should make
and launching
it
it out like that would be.
And it would be more interesting to promote it if
I
it was
like
like
it.
tune in next week while we try entrepreneur's new product, or he's gonna bring in and show us how his blah blah blah
I
product
agree.
works.
That'd be cool.
Tune in because Mark's gonna give blood, and let's see if he passes out. And just that way, there's a little like sensationalism there. My friend Kevin Huey, who is the managing partner of Huey Law Group, he's gonna guest host when Mark's in Italy.
Oh, awesome.
For 2 weeks, and he, in exchange, Make-A-Wish Foundation, who he's very involved, their executive director is coming on as well. She's great. And so he says he has a lot of ideas. He actually is the attorney for Rob on Rob, Arnie, and Dawn, or Rob, Anyone and Dawn. And so he does their show once in a while to call the lawyer kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's how I've heard of him.
people know him, yeah. So he said he would help us promote. If you're listening, you owe me a text back from us.
Help us promote.
Yeah, so if anybody's watching right now, please, or if you're watching the recast, post and let us know what kind of content you want to see as we build out the calendar so we can put some fun stuff.
What are people looking for? Want to hear, want to find out about?
Yeah.
And I didn't talk about anything, so go, you know me well enough to know my ability to.
Well, then we'll run through your
riff on
background.
whatever.
Do you want to, can we talk personal, or are you going to keep it,
Okay,
talk your
personal,
kids
yeah.
and the twins?
Yeah,
Okay.
the craziness. Well, I'll tell the story of a friend of mine who, the fact that I don't normally look like a financial advisor. I'm on video now, but I showed up a Friday. And like you saw me, right? And then
I was thinking you didn't look like a normal.
no, I do everything that I can do to dispel what people would, figure as a financial advisor. We can talk millennials. We can talk.
Oh boy, my favorite. We can talk about millennials and financial advising because we haven't really talked about that.
Well,
I can argue.
Well,
We can start a fight or something.
Small business and your specialty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what are they needing right now? What are the trends? I can talk a little bit about trends in 401k, what I'm seeing in recruiting. You have some recruiting needs, so we can plug that, and we can talk about any challenges you've had. You made all the hires?
I hired somebody, yeah.
The girl you told me about?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's all official.
I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah.
How many people does that make?
There'll be 4 of us, yeah. So, and then there's some other stuff that we're working on that, I'll say for Facebook, but not for on air.
Exclusive.
The goal is to get to an office in LA, an office in Denver, an office in San Francisco, an office in Chicago, and it'll all be based out of Woodland.
Nice.
So my, kind of a forget you to the man. Like I'm gonna have this big financial services firm that's based out of Woodland.
Nice.
So.
Do you have any of those other offices yet, or you just?
I'm talking to some people that are based in those locations.
Okay.
That's why there's.
Do you want to drive a website? Like, are you?
Just you Google Ameriprise. It's
Look you up on
website
LinkedIn.
is.
Okay,
yeah,
we'll do that.
My website is, you gotta spell out my name. It's like Ameriprise Advisors, Michael Rodegerdts.
Yeah, we'll have them go through LinkedIn, or they can call in. Oh. Who's on next week? Do you know? Next week? Who's on next week?
Amanda Blackwood, right? Is that,
Oh, already?
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I
Is
thought
that
it was
I know she's
BJ.
been out when I was gone. Maybe it's no, I don't know.
Okay, we gotta find out at the end of the show. I'll check the calendar. Good morning. Welcome to Beyond the Numbers on Money 105.5. Katie here with Mark.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Numbers.
Katie McConnell with Clifton Larson Allen in hiring and recruiting in full swing for the summer.
Full swing for the summer. Mark Bellows, tax principal with Clifton Larson Allen here in the Roseville office. Work with contractors, real estate developers, investors, and manufacturing distribution. Also in full swing. I just seem to be busy. It's good stuff.
And we have our guest here this morning, Mike Rodegerdts with Ameriprise Financial.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, guys.
Morning. So how was the weekend?
Well, it's Flag Day today, apparently.
Flag Day, yes.
So I feel like
celebrate
after
the
this, we're
American
going to go
flag.
celebrate.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's something you should do, right?
My cell phone didn't pop up that it was a holiday for Flag Day, so I kind of need
that's
to put a
terrible.
word in with Apple about that.
Yeah, you better talk to Apple.
You gotta put your reminders in.
They don't return my inquiries over there at Apple.
Hard to believe.
Their suggestion box must be full.
Get a hold of
I know
Tim
some
Cook.
people. We can make it.
Mike knows everybody.
Tweet Tim Cook or something.
You need anything, Mike knows it. Last year we went to a 49ers game. On the way there, we're like, oh, we're barbecuing. We need some bread. Swing by a bread store. Oh, I know a guy. Like he literally knows. You need to know somebody.
Mike knows
Call
him.
Mike, and Mike will find someone who knows a guy who knows a guy.
I know a guy. It's the
He
3
knows a
degrees
guy.
of Mike Rodegerdts.
He does.
Awesome.
With that said, if you want to call into the show, 866-576-1055, and we'll give that number out throughout the program today as
So
well.
we had my daughter graduated Friday.
Congratulations.
High school graduation.
That's
Our
pretty
little
cool.
daughter, yeah. And then Sunday was the party. So great weekend for that. It wasn't 105 degrees. No one had heat stroke at the graduation. So.
Which is apparent. Everything on the news last night, if you watch the news, it's the heat. The heat is coming. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Button the hatches.
Yeah.
Buy a tank top. Get your batteries in your water. It's going to be 100.
See, I'm headed
like,
to the coast for the weekend.
You guys,
so.
this happens every year in Sacramento.
I know.
It's always 100.
But it's the first
this
one.
is not new.
It's
It's like the first rainstorm we had where they're like,
Oh,
lock
yeah.
down your patio furniture.
Yeah.
There's going to be a breeze. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, you're going to be in the coast, and then you're going to be back, and then you're going to Atlanta. We're probably just as hot but humid.
Well, yeah,
That's for sure.
I was looking at the weather the other day, and somebody said, "Oh, it's going to be like 70." I was like, "Great," but 60% humidity. Oh, there goes that plan.
Yeah.
Right, so
That's good for the skin.
that's what they say.
Is that right?
I like the humidity.
Do you?
It is good for the skin.
Do you like going to heat and humidity both?
You know, last year,
I'm a fan.
July in Chicago, 90 degrees, 90% humidity.
Oh yeah.
That was a little much.
A little much.
It was a little much. When you you walk outside and you just immediately look like a haggard troll. Immediately.
No, thank
Not
you.
good.
I remember when I went to, because we used to recruit when I was in Galena, prior to CLA, we used to recruit at Notre Dame. So I went out there a couple times, and they had always the first week in September is when I did career fair, so I'd go for the day, for 2 days.
Okay.
The career fair and then interview people, which we actually hired a couple and brought them into Sacramento. But one time I went out there and it was so humid. You know, at nighttime I go for a run and I had to literally squeeze my shirt up
Oh.
twice because it's that humid. It's just
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah.
So that I don't like. That's too wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's in Atlanta?
So it's a 401k conference.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a barrel of monkeys.
Yeah.
It is
Woo.
incredibly stimulating.
He's gonna take that one, a red eye, right? Red eye Sunday night,
Yeah.
and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah. So Saturday is a bike race. All right. So that's why I'm on the coast in Mendocino.
Okay.
And then.
Wait, tell us about the bike race real quick.
Okay, so-
sounds like a fundraiser. Katie would like to do it. She's a big bike rider.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bike.
All the time.
All the time.
Right? Let's go for a ride.
Last time I rode a bike was in Belize. They said, oh, it's just down the street. And talk about humidity. It's like 100
Oh, I
degrees,
bet, yeah.
105% humidity. It's not even mathematically possible in this country. But we're riding down the road like, we have to be close, we have to be close. When we finally got there, everyone in the village was like, you rode your bike? Nobody's ever made it the whole way before. It was
Wow.
terrible. And I haven't ridden since. I'm still
Nice.
recovering from that emotional trauma.
Nice. Yeah, I would be recovering as well. No, so the first day is just pre-riding and check out the course. We'll probably do 15, 20 miles. And then the actual race is 35 miles in the mountains and hills outside of Mendocino. So it'll be 35 miles in about 5,000, maybe 6,000 feet of climbing. I can't remember. And then it's a enduro format, so you only get time going downhill. So it can take 3 hours to go up the hill, and I'm not skinny, so that helps. The gravity is my friend.
Yeah. So it's a road bike or a
mountain bike? Yeah,
Nice.
mountain bike. Out in the middle of nowhere.
I don't know where you get all your energy.
Red Bull.
Red Bull.
Twins, always on the go, mountain biking, 401k conferences, wild.
I have a very supportive wife who helps out, but I don't sometimes wonder where I get my energy.
Red Bull.
Yeah,
like you said.
it's a help. Yeah.
So
if anyone's listening from Red Bull,
yeah,
we'll take sponsorships.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just come on, flow it on down my way. I will not say no.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you do, who you are. I don't think we've gotten into that yet.
We haven't.
You're going to a 401k conference.
So so people ask what I do, and my answer is always I do interesting things for interesting people, and then people look at me kind of funny, and I say
What do you do?
It's related to knowing everybody, like Katie said. My job is to work with my clients, identify their needs, and then find a solution. So by trade, I'm a financial advisor. I focus in on small business owners with a big bent towards self-employed healthcare individuals and agriculture. I grew up on a farm, and my dad was one of the only people in our family who didn't derive most of his income from agriculture. And he was a real estate and water litigation attorney who did a lot of work in agriculture. So
out of Woodland?
Actually, he was at Downey Brand for a number of years. He finished out his career at Downey Brand, then the California Farm Bureau Federation, and then finished out his career as county council up in Colusa County. So he's retired. And, pestering my mom at home on a daily basis.
That's
so
what happens a lot when people retire.
Yeah. So, but my office is in Roseville. We have clients all over the country.
You're right down the street from us on Pleasant Grove, actually.
Yeah.
In Roseville.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I got 2 great staff and another one coming on in August.
Excellent. So staff 4, we have total people 4.
And they are awesome, by the way.
Great clients, including our very own
I am a client, so I can give a personal testimony, a little endorsement on the radio, because Mike is my advisor, and his team is awesome. You're great too, but
no, I'm nothing.
The other day we were talking about something, and he needed to send me a document. I literally sent one of his team members an incoherent thought process, and before I could even push send, she wrote me back and had given me the document.
That's great.
I mean, she's amazing.
Yeah, they are. I'm able to do stuff like this and do some of the crazy stuff I do because of them. So it's
it's important to have a good sports staff like that, a good team like that together.
Yeah,
totally.
Makes the job a lot easier.
Yep.
It all goes back to good recruiting.
Absolutely.
I know people.
You know people.
Who know people in that space.
You
that
do.
Can hire.
You can help people hire people.
Absolutely.
I've heard that.
There is a commercial that's hopefully coming up next to talk about that.
Ooh, good.
And speaking of commercial, we will be rolling into break shortly. We're here talking with Mike Rodegerdts, our guest this week. If you want to call into the show and you have a question for Mike or you want to chit-chat with us, 866-576-1055. We will be right back after this break.
I should give you a hard time. It's Rodegerdts.
Am I saying Rodegerdts?
You're saying, yeah.
I always said it was Rod.
No, it's Rodegerdts.
Rod.
Rod.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I'm the tallest Irish Hispanic person ever. Everybody's like, it's Mike Rodriguez. No, it's Rodegerdts.
Noted.
You're pretty pale for
A little bit pasty.
Yeah.
A little bit pasty.
Your parents aren't Latino.
No. No, not at all.
Oh, okay. I was like, I've met your parents.
No,
Wait a minute.
not at all. I'm German, Italian, and Irish. So.
And your little towhead kids, they don't look.
Are they little blondes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Blythe is light hair too, though.
Yeah. So,
All right, now where do we go?
where do we go?
Finish up your story. Maybe do you have
There's some background on Newman's background yet, so.
I'll background talk about. Do you have a case study of a cool thing that you've recently done?
So it didn't work out, but we matched the client up, and they talked food trucks.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's talk. Can you
so
talk
we
about
talked-
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we can talk about lessons learned since it didn't work out.
Yeah.
That's good.
Absolutely.
I like that.
That was good.
That'll take us through break.
Okay.
Check your phone and see who's on next week. I thought it was on that, but I'm not sure. Because I know she was going to be on when I wasn't here, which I was bummed about, but it is what it is. I have a good buddy of mine who is a rep for, well, more than a rep. He actually runs the sales team for Specialized.
Oh, really?
He's a mountain biker, so he's always going out mountain biking, and he's always getting injured.
Nice.
He's got some kind of this thing, where you can call.
Yeah.
Like he had to do that when he broke his clavicle recently, and call him in to come helicopter him out or whatever.
That's awesome.
But he loves going. He goes right.
What's his name?
Mike Carr.
I've got to Specialize now.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what you're riding this weekend?
No, I'm riding a
It is
Santa
on
Cruz
your
Bronson this weekend.
I don't know.
It's pink with yellow wheels. It's pretty slick.
We're back.
And we're back. Money 105.5 Beyond the Numbers. We are ringing in Flag Day today with
Yes.
Mike Rodegerdts.
Mike Rodegerdts.
Rodegerdts. Rodegerdts.
There you go. Had to give Katie a hard time.
I don't know how many years I've known you, and now I can finally get it
Makes
right. That's okay. I think you almost called me Carrie earlier, but I really
I did almost
I'll
call
go
you
by
Carrie.
It was
anything,
close.
so
Hey, you.
it's fine.
So you grew up in this area, but you went to school in Colorado?
Yeah. So I always figured it was a good way to go mountain biking for a few years, right? And I got really lucky in that it was a good school.
Yeah.
And so
Colorado State. I went to University of Colorado myself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a good school.
I'm so sorry. We can't talk anymore. I'm going to spend the rest of the time talking to Katie because I'm done with Mark.
Don't like the Rams.
Yeah,
Don't like the
no,
Buffaloes. I like the Rams. It's all good.
You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Jeez, Buffaloes. It's like 9 square miles surrounded by reality. Is what we always call it.
Boulder was a great town to go to school in.
It
I wouldn't
is,
want to live
it
there
is.
today, but it's a good town to go to school.
Yeah, we always said, people go to Boulder when they want to get really, really good jobs, right? Working for CSU graduates.
Winters are too harsh. Those woodland winters are much better to bear.
So they are, right? I don't live in Colorado anymore because I got tired of the snow. I love it. But here's an interesting statistic. There is more days of sun per year in Fort Collins, Colorado than there are in Miami.
But how do they count that? Because it can be sunny in Colorado and then rain in the same day and then go back to being sunny. So does that count as a sunny or is
it counts
is
as sun,
that a
yes.
half time?
I remember
counts as
Boulder
partial
used to always
Sunday?
say 300 days of sunny year.
Yeah.
Well, clearly they could talk about 5 minutes
Yeah.
of sun. That's a day of sun.
That
Right.
is a day of sun.
That's looking on the bright side.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
It
like-
may be
It's
30
sunny,
degrees
sunny,
out,
yeah.
but it is sunny.
Right.
Woo!
Yeah.
So you went to school there and then
Yep.
came back?
Yeah. So I came back because it's California was home and it was time to come back and
And you
so
met your wife.
I met my wife at a bar right at the Grad in Davis. She was the only
Sweet.
person that I didn't know in the group of friends and here we are. Gosh, you're gonna make me. We got married in 2004. So that would be 13 years later.
All right.
Yeah, I had to think about
Nice.
that math for a minute. You'd expect a financial advisor to do math. So we've been married 13
That
years.
team.
That team.
They do the math
yeah.
for you.
And I met her right when she was starting vet school. She's now a professor at Davis at the vet school. And we have 3 goofy, crazy kids that keep us busy. I got a set of 5-year-old twins.
Wow.
They'll be 6 in September, and I got an 8-year-old boy who'll be 9 in July. So it's definitely an adventure.
Yes.
My wife wanted 4 kids. I wanted 2. We got surprised for twins.
Yay!
Yay!
Compromise.
So from school, what was your work history? How did you end up to where you are now with your own agencies or your own?
I'm franchise. Technically, I'm a franchisee
Okay, sure.
of Ameriprise, right? So I actually sold wine for a while.
Okay.
With Gallo and went through their training program.
Wait, I forgot.
So you weren't working at a liquor store? It was
No.
That is a fancy way to say that.
I frequented a liquor store, right?
Oh, so you're a rep for Gallo?
I was,
Okay.
yeah. And I ended up managing the chain division for everything essentially north of 80. And had 5 reps under me, and then that just because it wasn't working, and I always had an interest in being a financial advisor, so I found an opportunity and jumped for it. Right, and that was 15 years ago. In August it'll be 15 years, which is, you know, and I'm still not 40, which is kind of unique. There's not a lot of advisors that have been around.
So did you start with Ameriprise?
I started with Ameriprise.
Office?
Yeah,
As
an employee. There's 2 channels in Ameriprise. You can be an employee or a franchisee. I was an employee for 3 years and then jumped out on my own as a franchisee.
And I think that's something unique about Mike. I find most financial advisors, and as CPAs, we meet them all the time.
Yeah.
They're either really young and they're just breaking into the industry, they're 23, they don't have any experience, they've never run a business, so they don't necessarily know what our clients really need. No fault of their own, they're just brand new. Or they're like 107 and all they want to do is talk about retirement because they're knocking on it, and I'm going, well, I have a lot of longevity left and your priorities just don't line up with where I'm at in my career. And so finding that sweet spot of having that experience and sort of being able to serve a newer demographic as well as kind of an aging workforce is really special.
Yeah, it's an interesting time in my industry. The average advisor is 62 and their average client is 62, kind of matches up with where they are. But if you look around, and even some of the younger advisors, some of my peers that have been around, they're a couple years longer than me, their clients, you know, they may be in their mid 40s or 50s as an advisor, and their clients are in their 60s. Mm-hmm. And I look at my client base, and it's a little bit odd. The last time I looked, it was 47.2, and it had skewed up a little bit because I'm picking up more and more of the older clients who are literally walking in the door and saying, "You don't look like you're going to die before I do," and I needed a new advisor because my advisor is retiring. So there's a lot of transition going on there.
But yeah, your profession there is, a CPA profession there is, attorneys, I mean, for all those professional services, we've got a lot of the aging people that are aging out and transitioning, and not as many people in between years.
But I also think, and maybe it's just the circles that I run in, as a young person, if I can still be qualified.
Yes. You are still young.
That I will always still be younger than you.
Yeah. You're trying to catch me. You're trying.
I'm doing a good job with my, like, you're driving too fast down the road. The other day at Target, we were walking into Target and some kids threw away a Starbucks with a Frappuccino and it missed the trash and went all over. And I just stood there with my arms crossed and Mom looked at them. And then they walked over and picked it up and put it in the garbage. And I felt so powerful. I didn't even have to say anything. I just Mom glared.
That is a good feeling. I dad glared the other day at a gentleman who was older than everyone in the room. I live in a community that has a bunch of retirees, and he was driving too fast. And I did the dad look, and he shamefully did.
It's nice.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
it.
I'm shaking my finger at him, and I'm like, "You're old enough to be my grandpa."
I'm like, I'm mature now. I can just look at kids and they do stuff. I totally forget what we were talking about now. Oh, being young people.
Yes.
That we're seeing a trend more where younger people are wanting to get more involved in taking responsibility for their financial future early. I hope. Maybe I'm just in this bubble of delusion, but I'd like to think this is happening.
So I can anecdotally say it, and then I'm starting to see some of the evidence that, you know, that millennials have gotten a bad rap for not being responsible. Yeah. And I think it's not the case. I have 2 divisions to my practice. There's the private client side, and then there's the 401k side, right? And so in talking about the 401k side, I got one of my companies, the highest contribution percentage is in that millennial age group because they soak up the education, and they love it and they understand what it is. And I always tell them, you know, this is the cheapest time of your life. You've just been used to the beanie weenies and top ramen diet. Move up to a cup of noodles and stag chili, and you'll still save a bunch of money. And they're contributing, you know, 18%.
Wow.
That's for a millennial, right? And
well, I also think, and I'm a cusper, Gen X millennial, but millennials have ridden through a market crash. And so they've seen their parents lose their 401k. They've seen their parents push their retirement out because of a market crash. And because of that, I think that they're going, you know what? We need to be more conscientious now and start early because we're not bulletproof to having another recession or, you know, and our parents' generation were kind of like, oh, we don't have to worry about it. It's going to be fine. .com boom, you know, that they didn't really see it coming.
Yeah, and there's one other side to that, which is, you know, the oldest millennials, when the bottom of the market hit, they were 24, so they didn't have much money. And all these millennials have only seen good times. They know that bad times exist, but from a professional, personal level, they've only seen this growth. And it's kind of interesting, they're hitting an inflection point. There's a lot of demographics that go behind this, but basically my generation, I'm Gen X too, we had kids in our late 20s, early 30s, right? Your generation was having them in their mid 20s and later 20s, and then the baby boom was having them early, right? 20, 25, all that, right? So, and when you need professional advice, when you need help, when you realize that you can't figure it out, is at those inflection points. Like, I'm going to buy a house, I need I'm going to have kids, all that. College. Those inflection points are now later for the millennials. So they've been given this bad rap because the prior generations, mine included, are saying, well, they're not doing the stuff that we did at the same age. Well, it's just because developmentally they're behind everyone. Not behind in a negative way, it's just age-wise they're not doing it. So more and more I'm seeing millennials seeking out actual advice and realizing, hey, this isn't the efficient way to do it. This is what I need some help to do that.
Well, and I think also, and I wrote an article about this last year about millennials being the vulnerability generation. But we talk a lot about vulnerability now, and we didn't used to. My parents never talked about it's okay to be vulnerable. And now we're in a society where it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to have a therapist. It's okay to go to a support group. It's okay to go to an advisor before you're in crisis mode, and you have that whole team of people around you from a young age to help you with your life goals.
Yeah.
And that's sort of new in our society from the baby boomer generation that didn't do that.
Yeah. Yep. So. I'd agree, 100%.
So you started with Ameriprise and then eventually decided you're going to go out on your own. You're going to buy a franchise.
Actually, you hit a certain level at Ameriprise and you have that choice. So you can go out on your own and do it that way. So that's what I've ended up doing, and
so they were like, "Please go,
just get out, buy your way out."
We had this great thing when I first started. If you you're new, you're trying to get clients, and you're essentially cold calling people, right? And they'd have phone clinics, right? And if you set 3 appointments, you could leave from the phone clinic after there was an hour had gone, right? So I pretty early in my career got to be purely referrals. So I'd save up and call the referrals during the phone clinic and set 3 appointments. So I'd be done, set 4 appointments in the first 15 minutes, and then I'd spend the rest of the time running around with a Nerf gun shooting at people while they were trying to set appointments. And so they were happy to see me go from that perspective. It's time for you to get out.
And is most of your business referral based now? Is that how you?
It pretty much. Yeah. I kind of try and keep it a little bit under the radar in that I don't advertise. I don't do all that stuff because the stuff that I do is so different that I need people to understand it. So like Katie has been a great help to building my practice, and CPAs and those kinds of things who know how I work, because they're saying, hey, you've been working with maybe somebody else or you've been doing some stuff with someone else, and they've done a good job for you, but I think you've reached that next level that you need some help with Mike, because he knows people and he'll get you to where you want to go. And we were talking earlier about one of my clients, kind of interesting story from
Hold that thought.
That's what I was going to say.
A little teaser. We're going to come back with an interesting story. You mentioned under the radar. Very under the radar, because we haven't told people how they can get a hold of you.
This would be key, yeah.
Yes, so we were talking about, of course you can call the show, 866-576-1055, or looking up on LinkedIn is probably the best way they can find you.
You can also Google me, like I said, my office is in Roseville. I'm the only Mike Rodegerdts out there.
All right, well, we will be right back. We'll revisit that information and tell your interesting story when we get back from commercial. We'll be right back.
More water?
Sure.
Katie?
No, thank you. I'm full.
My headphone cans are bigger than yours.
Heard that before.
Oh, jeez.
Where were we? Oh, I think it was in Italy, and the guy's like, I need less talking from you and more drinking, because we were wine tasting, and I was like chitty chatty, and I was behind. I'm like, oh, if I had $1 for every time a date told me that.
So what do you want to talk about next?
We'll give out your contact info again. We haven't had any callers. Where's Glenn from Citrus Heights? He usually calls in.
Oh, I'm not entertaining enough. You can talk about DOL.
Oh boy. There are some changes that are important that people, I think, are hearing about, so if we want to spend a little time talking about that. So we'll revisit your Raspberry story.
Lessons learned.
your personal story, then your client's story.
Yeah.
If you want to touch on DOL a little bit, I can just say I've been hearing a lot about it, but I ignore it, so
Yeah,
break it down.
and maybe we're kind of, because I know there's a lot of people concerned before the election, and then since the election, maybe it's kind of calmed down some because the thought is maybe it's not going to be as informative as well as going to be or whatever. So maybe touch on that.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm looking through it, I know.
Okay.
There we go. And then, lessons learned, maybe challenges that you face with your practice
Okay.
that
Growing
are
the
relatable.
practice.
Yeah.
I mean, challenges of growing it.
I mean, technically, it's entrepreneur and small business
Yeah.
theme month, which we
Yeah, which is good.
haven't really introduced.
Is this the first show of the month?
No, we had pie last week and Silk Road Soda.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Small business.
Okay. Challenge. Anything challenge? Time management is a huge challenge. People management.
Always.
Always.
And I've got good people.
So our guest next week, you figure it out, isn't
It is listed as Amanda, but she didn't write me back last week when I asked for information. And then I pinged her this morning and haven't heard from her. So I'm hesitant to tease it because what is this controller for a real estate and property management company? What is this? Why is this not mine? Whose job is this? This is like right in my bailiwick.
What client or company?
It doesn't say.
Oh, who's got it out there?
It's on Indeed, but it's under real estate property management.
What the heck?
It's a good ad too.
Huh.
I need like a decoy resume that I'm gonna create with like John Davidson or some like really generic name, and then make like a really nice real estate so that I can like email it in and then get a reply back so I can see who these jobs are for.
That's crafty.
I need NDAs for everyone.
Oh. Psych.
Okay, good. Because yeah, some of these it's like this would be a perfect lead. And it looks like they're doing a decent job with it, but it's a little wordy and they're asking for a little much.
Asking for a little much from an income perspective?
No, they're asking for a lot of hands-on and high level, and it's hard to get both, right?
Okay.
I mean, outsource the lower level stuff and get a higher level person, or you're paying a controller to do AP work, which is
Yeah, it's
stupid.
dumb.
Yeah.
And we're back. We got the jams this morning for Flag Day.
For Flag
That's
Day,
right.
that's right.
Katie here.
What is the genesis of the Flag Day? Anybody remember? I think it's about to celebrate the American flag, or
I should know.
thank
because-
Betsy Ross.
Is it the
What?
day Betsy Ross like sewed the last
I don't know.
stitch on
We're
the
gonna have
flag?
to Google
or-
that at the next break and find
Yeah.
out.
Right, we
what
will
the
get back to you
genesis
about
is.
this.
What's the deal with
For all y'all out there
That's right.
that want to
Yes.
celebrate later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An excuse. So we're talking with Mike Rodegerdts.
There you go.
Where we left off, you were teasing. You were about to tell this super interesting story, and I cut you off.
Yes. So I
You
had
should.
so it's along the lines of connecting people and doing interesting things for interesting people. I had a client who was into food trucks. I had a client who owned a commercial kitchen, and I had a client who really liked food. So there were some conversations and
Some synergy there.
There's some synergy, yes. And I don't, people may not know, and I don't know all the details exactly, but apparently all the food trucks have to attach themselves to a kitchen for their license. So they have
Oh,
constant
okay.
refrigeration.
Interesting.
And health,
Right.
keep you safe, right?
Right.
And there is only 2 commercial kitchens at the time. There's only 2 commercial kitchens that focused on those things in Sacramento. One is up in Loomis, and another is down in downtown Sacramento. So we're investigating, do we do this in Rancho Cordova or not, as a up to 50 corridor, right?
Right.
So it didn't work out, but we had some conversations. It was kind of interesting and brought some new things to light, right? And another interesting one was for the business owners R&D tax credits, which I know you guys are familiar with.
Yep.
But I sent an email to a client and said, hey, you should look at this, and it saved them a significant amount of money, for them. It was a very large business, and it saved them about 6 figures on taxes in the first year and going forward. So it's kind of, we do interesting stuff like that.
Well, that's good, and you're kind of, I would say, somewhat immersive, if that's the right word, in terms of.
Is that even a word?
Immersive? Totally.
It's a word.
But in terms of the
so,
service
yeah.
you provide, you do cover a lot of bases.
Yeah.
When we were talking earlier about potential for somebody to get Airbnb, and you threw out, well, we got to be careful because of vacation home rules, et cetera. So that's good. You approach your service not just from a financial advisor point of view, but from a more broad,
holistic
Yes.
advisory point of view.
Yeah, and that's one thing. I know it's kind of entrepreneur small business month here, right? And as I muck up that entrepreneur, I muck that one up. But basically, I was in this for a few years and kind of realized there's a big underserved area from small business owners in the advice side. There's a lot of people say they do it, but you look closely and they are employees, and you can't really get being a small business owner until you've done it yourself. You know, the trials and tribulations of managing people, the trials and tribulations of should you be an S corp, an LLC, a sole proprietor.
Right, yeah.
So, you know,
big decision points.
What do those things look like? So having gone through it myself prior to really starting to focus in on small business owners, I realized there's not a lot of good resources out there for people. So that's what led me onto the entrepreneur here.
Well, you can always talk to your CPA.
You can. You
and
can.
you should talk to
I mean,
Yes.
I know people who know people.
Yeah, I know. But it at the same time, there's not a lot of there's not a lot of people who have that holistic view. So CPAs are really good at here's what your taxation is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is the liability from the employment standpoint if you are a sole proprietor versus an S corp, right? And how does if you've got an S corp and a sole proprietorship, and you've got a 401k for the S corp, does it apply to the sole proprietorship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those kinds of things. That's the stuff that really I'm jazzed up about.
Well, how did you get into the 401k side of the business? Because that's not every advisor does that.
Yeah, I got asked about it at one point, and I ended up getting a referral to someone who needed a 401k, and I delved into that, and I realized if you internally think about yourselves at CLA and now, or at Galena and now CLA, and listeners think about this yourselves. When was the last time you saw your 401k rep, right? The person to come and give you education.
Yep.
And it's completely lacking in my industry. We haven't done a good job of continuing the education. So I actually approached the 401ks from the 401k bin, or from the financial planning bin, right? So we provide regular education. There is one firm that I end up going there or talking to someone from the firm on average once a week. Just because they're always asking questions. Then we have quarterly meetings where we're giving them education topics outside of just the 401k stuff. And that's one of the things that in the small business world I see is lacking, like financial education.
I agree.
So.
And believe it or not, I mean, in the recruiting space, I have a lot of middle market clients that still don't have a 401k, which is crazy in this market. You'd think it's kind of a given that everybody should have one as a basic standard for employment benefits and recruitment, but everyone doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's not surprising.
What size clients do you work with? Says the number of employees do you work with on your 401k practice?
I think the largest is right now they're at 400 on the 401k, but they just acquired another business, and they will be, I got to get the full numbers, but somewhere around 1,000 employees. And then on down to my smallest is 2. So the whole
take them all.
The whole
Run the
and
game.
then, the 1,000 operation has operations up here and in Southern California. So we're flying down back and forth between the two. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I mean, I think, again, a more comprehensive service is just such a value.
yeah.
Just having that Rolodex of people so that it's, well, I don't know, but I have an insurance guy. I have a good CPA that can help you navigate this. Or I get questions about safe harbor election a lot if we're hiring a high-level executive. And so it's nice to have that resource.
Yeah, is it a safe harbor? Is it
Right, well, it isn't right now, but can we make it a safe harbor plan because we're bringing on a first-time president or a COO, and it changes the game with the 401k stuff.
Well, don't forget if highly compensated individual has 60% of the assets or more, then you've got a different formula and all that.
See, no, this is outside of my.
Well, yeah, I get questions sometimes I've gotten before where they'll be like, "Hey, we've got two entities, and this
Yeah.
one's got a 401k. Does that one apply to the rules for that one? Et cetera, like you talked
What's
about
the
earlier.
ownership, right? Like
Back to
common
I affirm to
ownership,
someone like
and-
you, and say you can answer.
Right, so yeah, you guys find those questions, right?
Yeah.
I know the people that get those answers.
Yeah.
So real quick, you have some letters behind your name.
Yes.
What do they mean?
It's a certified retirement planning counselor, CRPC.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And then I've taken all the CFP classes as well.
Mhm.
So I practice like a CFP. I just haven't actually had time to sit down and take the comprehensive exam.
You guys have more certs than CPA. We have
Oh,
the
I know.
CPA, the
Mhm.
Certified Management Accountant, CMA, and a Certified Fraud Examiner, CFE.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, we can get the CPA, MBA, CRPC, CFP, AAMS,
CLU.
CLU, the CHFC,
Right.
the alphabet soup.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
No alphabet soup.
So, real quick, little teaser before
Yeah.
we cut to break. We have a couple more minutes. Lessons learned as a business owner, maybe some lessons that you've learned in the course of helping other businesses, things like common things that people run into as small and mid-sized businesses that we could benefit from.
The 401k stuff that we mentioned is one, right? Like
Right.
there's a lot of 401ks that need better service. That's an easy one. People management, right? Do everything you can to take care of your people. They provide you with everything that you have. I met with someone the other day, and he had a really good view on what's going on in his industry. And he's a construction guy, right? And
Love
he, everyone talks about their assets, right? Their assets. And he's a young guy, my age. He's around 40, and he was talking about his assets. It's his people.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Absolutely.
the money. It wasn't stuff. He's like, I've got to keep these people loyal. So when the market comes with a downturn in the construction industry, I've got to put stuff together to create the best environment for them now, so they see how much I treasure them. Because without them, I've got nothing, right?
I would love to have him as a client because most of my clients, I wouldn't say most of them, there is a segment of the population that does not understand that
Yeah.
feels that they are dispensable, which
Yeah.
keeps me employed, but is also very frustrating because I know how important retention is. I mean,
Very much so.
And,
Well,
and
it
it's
costs
how
so
you
much
grow.
money to hire and train people.
Yep.
You can have 100% retention and still utilize me because you're growing and you are so successful with the people you have that you need to add more.
Yeah.
Those are the best projects for me to take on, not the turn 'em and burn 'em. We've had 4 people in this role in the past 3 years, kind of a role.
No, you definitely want those kinds of guys, because they'll be good in the downturn, right? They'll take
Right.
care of their people.
Exactly, which
And,
is key.
and it's in the construction industry. I've done and dealt with a lot of construction guys, and I've never heard of it that way. It was kind of a refreshing take on it. So that was one of the big learnings.
What about you personally, in terms of when you were building your business and going on your own? Is there something that you can recall that was a challenge that you overcame, or that you didn't overcome but would do differently now, or anything like that?
Not so much one challenge, lots of them.
Okay.
Right?
Story of entrepreneurs.
Yeah. I think-
talk us into the commercial.
I think the biggest has been, kind of the differentiation. Like, how do you differentiate yourself to be different from others?
Yeah,
right?
someone says, hey, he's just another financial advisor.
Exactly.
I've already got one.
Right.
Yep.
That's what can you do to differentiate yourself? And I tell people, I try and do everything that I can to dispel everything you would anticipate an advisor to be.
When we get back from break, we will talk a little more about this. I have some thoughts on that too. We will be right back on Money 105.5, Beyond the Numbers.
I think it's getting cooler in here.
It is freezing. It's literally like
Yeah.
we should be hanging cured meat from the roof.
No.
Like,
Feels good. I like it.
whatever.
I kind of like it. I was okay for a while. Now I'm
Now
like,
you get cold,
oh, maybe it's a little
It's
cool.
really chilly.
So,
You can open the door for like a minute before we go back on air. Let some warm air
There we
in.
go.
yeah. So I can tell the story of the friend who, living dangerously like a financial advisor.
Well, I want to
But-
talk more about differentiators.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Because I have experienced the same issue of, oh, well, I already have a recruiter, or oh, well, I can do it myself, and that's the same thing. Oh, well, I'm good with money. I day trade, so I can do it myself. I don't need a professional. And kind of how. Well, you find a lot of people. I have candidates that are in between jobs. What are you doing? Oh, I've been day trading, and they're making enough that they don't have to work, but they're not.
People I've seen in the day trade tend to not do well. know.
Well, yeah.
No,
I mean, there's a reason why.
Yeah.
And a common thing that we hear from business owners is, surround yourself with people that are professionals. Get a good accountant, get a marketing person, get an advisor, get a
good team on the
I forget who said, I don't do my own landscape design, so why would you do your own marketing? Maybe it was Scott Eager who said that.
I can read it. Oh, that's like figuring out what you're good at. Being, going deep
like
on
strengths
that.
finder. And, focus on the strengths.
The common is, repair your weaknesses. Now go after your strengths.
Dump your weaknesses.
I don't think that really. Did you ever do strengths finder?
I have.
That's what I like about that. Is it really focus on your strengths, not on your weaknesses.
Well, you can read about heart surgery, but would you do it yourself?
But then sometimes your strengths are also your weaknesses. Because one of my strengths is my headstrong tenacity, but it's also like constantly getting me in trouble. Oh, this is my commercial.
Oh, nice.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so differentiation. How do you differentiate yourself?
Yeah.
I'll lead in on it.
Okay.
And then this is our last segment, or we have
Yeah.
one more?
Is it?
Is it? Okay, it's the long one.
Mine is kind of
So
my
we
Sure.
should-
age.
Negative. It holds all my emails. My little Mimecast thing is like 3 pages long.
No, I know.
It's so weird.
And I started going through mine yesterday, but there's so many on there.
And we're back. Money 105.5.
What's the call-in number if people want to call and ask a question?
Great question. 866-576-1055. And that's 1055 as in 105.5.
Wow.
Nice.
What are the odds?
Clever.
Nice.
Right.
I like
I will
it.
be honest that I just kind of put that together 2 weeks ago.
Wow, you're quick study.
I am quick.
But you
Good
did
with
get a little
numbers over
confused
here.
on driving in today, right?
I thought,
Why do you
yes.
have to throw under the
I
bus
know,
like that,
I know.
Mike?
Just 'cause-
I was just exploring the,
Yeah, just exploring the Arden area.
the industrial
Do it all the
neighborhoods
time.
over by Arden.
My wife always says those moments are her "I'm pretty" moments.
Those are just sort of getting to know my city a little bit better,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways.
So, differentiators.
Yes.
We're talking about that for the break.
Yeah, so it was interesting that you mentioned that. Last night I was having a conversation about being an entrepreneur and a question someone had called in on another radio station about, how do I know if the market I'm in is saturated? And my point is, well, that's kind of an asinine question to ask, because if it's a saturated market, then there's already a market for your products, so you kind of don't have to do the research there.
Yeah.
And then it becomes about differentiating so that you can take some of the existing market share. You don't have to create demand. And so I think, your business is that way, my business is that way, being a CPA is the same way. It's not about market saturation, it's about market penetration and a differentiator to take a part of the market share. So, how do you do that? What's your differentiator? What have you seen?
One of mine is age, actually, right? Because I've been at it for 15 years and I'm not 40 yet. That's unique. I ask around and I can't find other people who are like that. There's people who have practiced for 15 years, but I know.
Pardon.
All right.
I'm not quite to 15 years
Not in the
yet.
financial
No, in the
space, though.
advising space, not
forget
doing
it.
what you do, right? But like it's unique. So that's one. But the real thing is to figure out your true you and what your strengths are, right? We were talking about it a little bit off air. Like, what are the strengths that you have? What is it that you do really, really well?
Right.
So the best example I have is mine is the agriculture background that I have, and realizing, hey, that's a market that's underserved. I've got that. It's a strength. A lot of people talk about, find your weaknesses and fix your weaknesses. No, hire people to take care of your weaknesses.
Yes.
Go deep on the strengths. And
Do
that's
what you're good at, what you know. You
Yeah.
know ag because you grew up in it.
Yeah.
And if you have weaknesses, they're never going to be your passion.
I have
There's
no
a reason
weaknesses.
why they're
Yeah.
weaknesses.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't, I specialize in construction, real estate,
Yeah.
agriculture. I don't do banks.
Yeah.
There's a reason why. I don't have a passion for it. I don't know it very well. It would be a weakness in my recruiting toolbox. I'm not ever going to be good at it because I don't like it.
Yeah.
I love the construction space.
I love the ag space. It's a huge market that's underserved.
Is that where a lot of your clients are?
It is, yeah. And I mean, we are the Silicon Valley of agriculture, right?
Right.
And it's a very relationship business, and that's another. You ask stuff, relationships, right?
Yeah.
Like no matter what industry you're in, everything is relational,
Yes.
right? We're in this tech world that's everything's going automation, as much automation as you can.
Still people want
Crazy.
relationships.
Yeah.
People, especially for financial advisors, they need someone they can trust. CPA,
Yeah.
similar type thing. They need someone they can trust,
Uh-huh.
and that trust is built through relationship over time.
Well, but and that's the thing. If you can integrate that outsourcing and that integration of the technology and the relationship, you're going to be a huge level ahead of a lot of other people. So I try and focus on the relationship. I've been accused by family members of only liking to have fun, and I said, well, yeah, come on.
But if you love what you do, and
It's
even
fun.
on the hard days,
Yeah.
it's funny you mentioned, outsourcing and automation. I'm thinking, how many times in the past year have I punched something into WebMD just to get kind of a second opinion? Like, what is this? Or, am I dying? And yes, it's probably a tumor. That's always the conclusion with WebMD. But have I ever punched in for financial advice, like financial advisor MD? No, I mean, you guys are pretty regulated, so there's not a lot of that going around. But that's a
There's some of
business.
that, right? What do they call it?
Robo-advisors.
There's
those
some
kinds of
Really?
things. Yeah.
I would never trust that. I will trust the internet with my health care.
There's a
But I
robo-advisor
won't
use
trust
like
them with my money.
algorithms, and that's what they do, right?
It is. It's algorithmically
What's your
based.
risk tolerance, and then how much you want to put in, we'll spread it on whatever. I mean, that's kind of what they
Pretty
do.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Which
And
against no relationship.
there's
no,
none.
I want
No
someone who
connection.
knows
None.
my goals
Yeah.
and knows. But I will look up on WebMD and totally trust my medical future with the internet. That's
Well,
fine.
yeah,
But
totally.
I would never hire a computer to do my financial advising. I want Mike to do it.
Well, the funny thing is like, WebMD, you're saying it in jest, but like, go ahead and Google right now, for those who are listening, what your 401k limits are, like your contribution limits, right? And I
Right.
pretty much, not guarantee, but it'll be close to 18,000 on 99% of the time, right? The real limit is not $18,000, right? It's significantly north than that.
Right.
If you Google defined contribution plan
Yeah.
contribution limits, you'll get the real answer.
Yeah.
So small business owners, right, are a different beast, and they Google 401k limits and like, well, 18 grand, that's not going to make any difference on my taxes. But really, when you combine other plans and things, it can be a
It's gonna be
lot
huge.
more
Yeah.
than that, right?
A lot.
Right.
So I always tell people the internet's really great, and you can get a lot of information and a lot of great stuff. And so this is a learning too. What's good information for you, Mark, is going to be different than the good information for me. And Katie, we're not far off in age. It's still going to be dramatically different than for the two of us.
Well, I don't have to remind you that I am actually a little younger than you are.
Yeah, thanks. Kick a guy when he's down. I believe 40. So that was throw some
And
dirt in it.
we're expecting a big party.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, if we have to.
Okay.
If we have to.
Blythe, if you're still listening, that's my wife. Katie wants to
If you're still listening.
Well, she's gonna work, right?
She
Oh,
had a
wait,
class.
she's off today. She's got the kids. That's right.
Oh,
So she's working even more.
Oh,
What does
they
she
must-
teach?
She's
Med science?
she's at the community medicine practice at the university, which is interesting. I get lots of views on the young kids coming through and what they're doing and like the lessons that they're learning, the things they're getting taught.
Alcohol poisoning.
No, at this stage they've gone beyond that,
Oh.
right? Because they're in the vet school, right? So
Okay.
this is their 4th year.
Oh, okay,
So
so yeah,
they've
they're
gone
beyond
beyond
that,
that.
yeah.
Button down, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're getting it on point.
Okay.
So yeah,
So we just have a couple minutes left.
yeah.
Final words of wisdom,
Parting
pieces of
thoughts.
advice, parting thoughts,
Uh,
invitation to the 40th birthday bash.
That's right. Everybody can come. Oh God, I said that on the radio. The biggest thing I have to think, and it really is, find good people that compliment you and can do the things that you're not good at. Like focus and double down on your strengths, and really do that, and you're going to have a lot of success long term. If you can. Not outsource isn't the right word, but it's the one that comes to mind.
Well,
Outsource the stuff you don't do well.
Oh, you have a good team of advisors.
Yeah.
An attorney, a CPA,
Yep.
a financial advisor,
Yeah.
Right,
a doctor versus WebMD.
Yeah. A doctor.
Yeah.
What I took away from that is a rash, but a 401k financial plan is a whole different banana.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
Quote that.
Yeah.
That's
Rub
our
some
takeaway.
dirt on the rash, you'll be good. Right? So that's country boy medicine. Rub some dirt on it.
There you go. Put some duct tape on it.
Duct tape and baling wire.
Quincy, man.
That's
Duct tape's
right.
great for taking down splinters, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Right.
It's good for all kinds nother
crawl
show.
on the deck.
We could do a whole nother show on just the uses of duct tape.
We probably.
I think
we should have the duct tape inventor or
The
something.
inventor. I don't know if that person's
is
still
that a
exists
tease for
today.
next week right there?
Yeah.
Hey,
Speaking of
next
duct
week
tape,
we're doing duct tape.
Actually, we're still in Small Business and Entrepreneur Month, so next week is going to be a continuation of that with another small business entrepreneur talking about being involved in many different facets of industry, business. She hopefully will be able to confirm Amanda Blackwell, serial entrepreneur involved in all kinds of things in the community. So super excited to have her on the show next week. So,
Very good.
Yeah.
busy lady. So hopefully we can pin her down. Otherwise, we will have more exciting content to follow.
There you go.
Yes.
So, and we were talking off air as well about exciting content. So if you have any ideas or suggestions, or even if you have a guest who you'd love to see featured on the show, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you and get them involved.
And you can call Katie or I at CLA 916-784-7800. Love to hear your thoughts on the
Got it.
show.
Yep.
Thank you
Yeah.
for being on the show. Is there a number
Yeah.
people can get a hold of you at?
Yeah, so you can reach my office, 916-784-2240, and just ask for Amber or myself. You'll get to us. You can also find my website, ameripriseadvisors.com /Michael E. Rodegerdts, or Google me because I'm the only one.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well,
thanks for listening.
thanks for being on the show.
We
Thanks for having me,
will
guys.
see you all next week on Money 105.5.
Have a great week, everyone.
Yay.
All right. Get Joe's cans back to him.
And we will archive content, so I'll forward it to you. You can show your kids.
Yay!
Or you
Yay.
can cut and slice it and use pieces of it for whatever you want.